Another day sitting my ass on this chair and recording for this wonderful channel. Every human being on this round and not flat Earth must have watched this thing back in their teenage phase, with the exception of one human being called me. I honestly never had any curiosity to watch the anime of this pink-haired chick. And look, I watched the anime of the other pink-haired chick, which is also a big pile of shit after you develop critical thinking. And in this one, even though it was so talked about, I was still very suspicious, like, oh god. I swore it was a school romance with a girl obsessed with the nerd guy, but in reality, the thing was way more satanic than I expected. Because the only scene I had seen from it was this crazy girl sleeping in the protagonist's bed with a bag of bladed weapons, meaning she is going to fuck someone's ass. So here we are to talk about Mirai Nikki in the year 2026. Maybe I am the only human being on this earth who didn't watch this anime at its peak. So get ready to see me complaining about your little anime there. Probably everyone likes this shit, but I don't give a fuck, okay? I don't give a single fuck about anime fandoms. Well, we start by meeting our protagonist called Yuki, the type of character you forget. This shit looks like a side character. A lonely and shy kid who prefers to observe the world instead of socializing with it. The kid is also highly depressive to the point it's disgusting, and to make his situation worse, the kid's biggest hobby is writing in his diary, a really very masculine activity. And when you think it can't get worse, the kid still has two imaginary friends. I even know who they must be, the right hand and the dick. But right after that, he ends up discovering that, in fact, those two imaginary friends are real. And one of them is a god who wanted to put Yuki into a survival game, turning his cell phone into a future diary, where he can see events 90 days in advance. Yuki thinks it must be something in his head, but it wasn't. He realizes it, and then, instead of being scared, he's like, yeah. He starts using the diary for his own benefit. Everyone would do that, I don't even know why I'm complaining. But at the end of class, he realizes he wasn't the only student with this power. And then a pink-haired girl called Yuno starts running after him, and the kid panics. Fuck, she's going to fuck my ass. But out of nowhere, she gives him a big kiss, and we find out she is another diary holder, meaning she's not going to fuck his ass, at least not yet. Anyway, the fact is that there is a diary user wanting to kill Yuki, and Yuno also came to stop that because she was seeing his entire future through her diary. And it's a future diary of love, capable of showing Yuki's future every 10 minutes. And calm down because I'll explain this shit. In the survival game I mentioned, all diary users are trying to kill each other until only one remains. That's it. If you have a diary, your life is directly linked to it. So if it breaks, you're done, buddy. And there was a guy looking for Yuki wanting to send him to hell. But Yuno came to save him using her diary, giving the idea to kill the guy. And that's what they do. Yuki hits his diary. Yuki hits the guy's diary and sends him to hell, okay? Then he goes to talk to his imaginary friend, who is basically the Jesus of this world, where he explains that there are 12 diary users. 11, actually. One of them hell just took. And the game is simple. Whoever is the only survivor becomes God. So the game really begins. And even without knowing each other's faces, the other 10 will focus on Yuki, because he managed to survive and kill a user alone. They just don't know that Yuki, right? Yuno, in this case, helped him. Then when the meeting ends, Yuno says he can relax, that she will protect him. All of this with a horny as fuck voice. Who will be the survivor of this slaughter saga? We will see in 5 seconds. We continue with Yuki kind of tense about this survival game thing. During class, he thinks a bit about whether he can trust Yuno or not, so he personally goes to talk to her. But she says she was busy and that they'll talk later. Bye. And then after class, a purple-haired girl appears in the room asking for help. But actually, she was there to kill Yuki, because she is also a crack user. Just kidding, she's just a diary user. It has nothing to do with crack. And then she goes after him. But Yuno arrives trying to hit her and defend the kid. By the way, this kid is completely useless. She is number 9. She came just to get Yuno, the 9th in this case. So she jumps through the window and blows up half the school, killing half the students. Only these two manage to escape by very little. Then Yuno says she will kill number 9 to protect him at all costs. And the kid thinks. She talks about killing people so naturally. My friend, the chick just killed half the school and almost killed you both. And then you come at me with this gay talk. And then scared, he asks her to protect him. While we have another completely random kiss, without feelings. And they don't even know each other to begin with. Anyway, the crazy woman downstairs announces to God and the world that she planted explosives. She planted explosives all over the school, all with motion sensors. So you move, boom. Meanwhile, the two of them run from the bombs, looking at the diary exactly at everything that will happen, while thinking of a way to escape. Anyway, they end up discovering that her diary has a direct connection to his, so she says that this way he will never die, and all he has to do is use her. He just has to use her. I know this sounds very weird to say. And then the kid, instead of running away and helping himself, starts crying and saying he has always been a piece of shit, that he always wanted to follow life, his life in this case. This kid is simply a bag of shit. And if it wasn't for Yuno giving him a motivational speech right there, the kid would stay and die. Girl, in your place, I'd rather let him stay and die. And then the scene jumps to the police, right? Who go to the school to arrest number 9. But among them, there is a guy who also uses a diary, a detective, and he knows exactly what she is going to do, and goes there to try to stop it. Then the scene jumps back to the school, where the plan of those two was to find his friends to ask for help. But the guys will help number 9, in exchange for saving their lives. What a bunch of son of a bitch friends. They grab Yuno and Yuki to deliver both to number 9. A bunch of son of a bitches. Then number 9 says she will kill him, and blow everything up at the end, but then the detective arrives to stop it, saying he will save Yuki, because he doesn't even care about that thing there, about the God position, and revealing himself as number 4, and that 9 was after him, not Yuki. Ah, I'm here because I'm a badass guy, and I can't let any innocent person die. And then 9 tells him to kill Yuki, because otherwise everyone at the school will die. And the guy just accepts. The guy arrived acting tough and gives up minutes later. What a limp dick. But again this idiot thinks, ah, how did I think a loser like me could survive? So he asks number 4, to at least let him prove his value before dying, and the guy allows it. Like, he's the most spineless guy I've ever seen. So he runs straight at 9, but there were bombs around her. So Yuno uses her diary to try to stop it, to make the path there for Yuki, and the kid hits a dart right in her eye. Yes, he walks around with darts in his pocket. To kill someone? No, to stick in an ass. And out of absolute nowhere, number 9 launches rockets from under her skirt, along with a motorcycle to escape, because her diary is the escape diary. I found this sensational. I don't know if I start laughing or press Alt F4. Out of nowhere, a motorcycle. Well, after all that, number 4 says that his plan is to arrest the other players and end this game once and for all. So he suggests an alliance between them to do that, and the two accept to participate. I still can't get over the fact that the chick pulled a motorcycle out of her ass and ran away. In the next episode, we see that the group is there gathered, talking about this detective's plan to end the game and become God. Before that, let me explain one thing. Each diary has a different power. In the case of number 9, who pulled a motorcycle out of her ass, she has the escape diary. The detective has the investigation diary. Yuno has the love diary, and so on. For now, their focus is capturing number 9. So the detective throws out an idea for them to serve as bait so that he can capture number 9, and then the other players, the other 7 in this case. And then the two go to an amusement park to try to draw number 9's attention, while Yuki keeps trying. Yuki, in this case, keeps trying to understand why Yuno is so interested in him. Look, Yuki, I strongly suspect she wants to fuck. After that, we see that number 9 was hiding, inside that abandoned building there, all injured and with her eye completely fucked. But she says she will win the game and survive, and then she leaves through the streets, running from the police. But in the middle of the way, her future changes in the diary, and the police find her again. And in the shadows, we see another one of the players appearing. Meanwhile, we jump to the park, where we see these two doing couple stuff, which in my head still didn't make much sense. I remembered the chick pulled a motorcycle out of her ass, so it's not supposed to make much sense anyway. Anyway, they keep enjoying the park, with the right to unnecessary scenes. Like, for example, Yuno losing her bikini in the middle of absolute nothing. just so our human Yuki can feel a boob for the first time. Yes, our human almost died after touching a breast. Bring a skirt to this woman. Then Yuno invites him to go to a planetarium, but the kid responds dryly, no. And then they go to a Ferris wheel, for Yuki to finally ask why Yuno likes him. But she responds with another question, like, why didn't you want to go to the planetarium? Since she knew he likes stars. And she knows that because about 10 years ago, she helped him with an essay where he said that to her, and she promised to marry him. And the kid accepted, but only when they are adults. Yes, the strange relationship of these two is supported by a 100% convenient flashback. Yuki asks if she was hiding anything else, in secret there, like confidential. So she gives him another kiss, and answers that it's a secret. Wow, that is actually romantic. Well, they go back home. Yuno invites Yuki to stay a bit at her house. While on that same night, the detective goes to check if everything was okay with them, to see if number 9 wouldn't show up. But in the meantime, she was still running from the police, until that guy appears, helping her. Probably the same one I mentioned earlier. The guy takes her to the middle of a cabin, saying she doesn't need to worry, but he tricks her, asking for the name of the first player, which in this case is Yuno. All of this while he rips out the eye that Yuno pierced. We return to Yuno's house, where we see that our human is looking for a bathroom. He explores the house until he finds a dreadful room, and after he opens this door, we see that that realm, where the god of the game lives, begins to collapse. With him saying that an impossible miracle happened, that everyone's future will change, just because of this door that Yuki opened. And in that same scene, Yuno appears behind him crying, saying that everything was going so well, and asking why he had to open that door. Then the kid runs back home, because apparently Yuno killed people, and was hiding their bodies in the room. In that room. And then she appears at his door, saying, "Good dreams, Yuki." And well, I'll stop here. Honestly, I can't judge the anime up to this point. I know everyone is talking shit. Like everyone talks shit about this. And maybe I understand why. It's kind of goofy up to where I watched. But I won't follow trends, just because everyone is talking shit. Or everyone talks shit. Anyway, that's it. Subscribe and bye.